my show, Searching for Integrity. My name really is John Smith, and I'm searching for people with integrity, and hopefully they're searching for me as well. Today I'm looking at some information for you, critical information on lifestyle, lifetime, what people do with their lives. And it's now been put together, and it's called financial literacy. At first, I wasn't familiar with it, but began to look at it, but it's been around forever. It's basically a way for you to live more comfortably, happily, and also parts of your family, if you like all your family. I shouldn't have said that. I'd like to bring up some things about what financial literacy, how it's defined. It's defined about a whole different ways, I can say that. And it's number one in terms of personal finance: saving, 2, vesting, 3, financial protection, 4, saving, tax saving, 5, retirement planning. Notice the item number 4 is tax saving. Of course, that's good. If you have enough money to pay the tax, then you might get along this lifetime. There are 3 of the 7 components. What are 3? Financial literacy. 7 key components. 1, interest. 2, budgeting. 3, debt management. 4, credit. 5, identity theft protection. 6, savings. 7, having financial goals. I should knock on wood, and I will, for I've never been frauded or theft protected in that respect. And I'm glad for that. It's a big business out there that people work and scam on you, and they'll call you on your phone when you don't want them to. That's part of their game. As long as you know they're coming, then you have a better outcome. I'm going to give you a long definition. Financial literacy is the ability to understand and make use of a variety of financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. It also means comprehending certain financial principles and concepts, such as the time value of money and compound interest, managing debt, and financial planning. Lucky for me, I turned in the right direction when I got out of the Army, went to college, became an accountant, and became a CPA. And I'm certainly glad I did that. If you can look into this, and I believe there's some following here in my presentation, that the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, it's called FINRA, they have a 5-question test that measures consumers' knowledge about interest, compounding, inflation, diversification, and bond prices. In the last study, only 34% of those who took the test answered at least 4 out of 5 questions correctly. What this tells you is that they also have videos, online videos that you can read and look at and scoop in your own information that you're looking for. Usually these skills, financial skills, come in terms of a purchase. Well, there's a lot of things. Uh, Let me get to my yellow board, my own little yellow board. I have it underneath here. Let's say financial literacy. Let's start with the groups. Groups are students. Think about this as you step through your own life. Students, newly married. Next group is family with children. Then we have employed and unemployed. We now have the working classes, blue collar, white collar. And then at the end, of course, retirement. There's a whole lot in that field going on today. And it's amazed me quite a bit that the prices of things have gone up sky high. And you try to put together a budget and how you're going to keep your budget so you're going to have a little bit left later on. That's not always going to happen. It's not. Because look at today's prices, oil prices. I saw an article that said that oil itself, oil and gas, could go parabolic. What that means, parabolic, the price can go straight up. It's not moving left to right anymore. It can go straight up. And that could put in a global economy in a critical situation. That's the other thing we don't think about as well, is that we think that we're the only people. We're the only ones on the world, on the earth, on the world's earth. It's not. It's not. It's a global. It's a global deal we live in. It's all over the world. Look at how the Ukraine war, Russian invasion of Ukraine, and how that's affecting wheat, grains, corn. The whole country, the whole world needs these items to live off of, to eat, and the rest of the money as well. It's so expensive now. It's really sad. I wish that there were a way that we could make it go away, but we'll have to have patience. That's what's going to make it go away. Let me give you an example. If I'm looking to sell a house and hopefully make a profit on the home that I built, and that then comes to pass. 1 year later, it happened. 1 year later, it happened. We then moved away. We didn't see anything we wanted to buy because it was too expensive. I'm serious, it's too expensive. So we decided to rent a home. And we did that. And just recently we decided to move from Texas to Arizona, the Tucson area. And people say to me, well, why did you do that? And I say, well, it's got grandchildren over there. And that's an honest, hard pull, but we're enjoying it quite a bit. So we're in the same situation, different state. Houses on the market, priced way too high. People coming in from California, big money. And every house goes up for bid, for auction. We went through 2 of those biddings, and we won one of them. But once we got inside it, we had an inspection performed and decided that there was some problems that needed help. And we didn't want to be the ones to pay for it down the road. So we said, no, give it back. And we did. It was in the contract. Now we're renting again here in Tucson. I think you're going to see more and more and more about everybody needs a house, everybody wants a house. Home affordability. The affordability of a home has collapsed. What do you know is coming next? You don't. It's a housing crash brewing, I believe. And this occurred in the credit crisis back in 2007, 2008. We have a credit crisis back then. And all the prices in all the homes went through the roof, just like they're doing now. And it took quite a while to unwind that. And our own situation here in the U.S. is to look at what hopefully the Federal Reserve does. Now, the Federal Reserve is a government agency that that's supposed to control the economy, that's supposed to control money, that it's supposed to control interest rates. And interest rates have such an effect on transactions, buying and selling. And if you do it wrong, you're going to be in a bigger hole than you thought. For instance, new home sales in April, the sales plunged by 16%, even as prices continued to climb. It's one of those things that during that time, back in the 7s and 8s, I began buying foreclosures at the county courthouse steps in Fort Worth, Texas, Tarrant County. And I learned and looked into it, and I was a bidder, and I was a bidder there. But they were much more civil in that most people were there. I was there to find a house, rehab it, and sell it for an affordable person, to an affordable family. I did that for a number of years. The problem with it though was that you could bid on a house all day, but you can't find anybody that can get a mortgage. Mortgages got so high, basic peoples couldn't get a chance at it. And now we're faced with the same thing. People that want to visit and see about buying a home. Interest rates now on mortgages, I believe in December, they were around 2.5%, 3% on a 30-year. Now we're looking at 5.5%. All the people and I read another statistic that last 2 months in San Antonio, Texas, let me get this straight, that 40% of the loan sales were from investors, buyers. The buyers were 40% of those being bought. They're not going to be people to live there unless they're going to open it up for people to rent. Cars. You've seen what inflation can do to cars in terms of pricing. And I'm bringing up these various assets in various areas because you got to deal with them. You can't run away. It's all around you. You have to deal with it. So you might as well get started and think more about it so that you have a better play when it comes your turn. Used cars especially. Used cars are in such of a need that they can be sold almost as much as a new car, which is startling to me. Nevertheless, it's happening. When we pulled into Arizona and decided that we were going to look around, we discovered that the Arizona people have a gasoline system that's somewhat akin to the California gasoline system. And we started looking right away for a hybrid. We found a Toyota Corolla hybrid 22. And it It only took 2 months, but we did it. And now we're getting ready. We had a trip. Um, this makes the good part feel good. Uh, the miles per gallon for us was 55 miles a gallon. And I don't want to be bragging about that, but you need to think about people need to think about in terms of if they're going to buy gas for the rest of their lives and pay it through the roof. I would hope that you'll find a different way to go about it. Either an EV or a hybrid is the way to go. Of course, Tesla has done quite well with their sales, and they have a lot of their vehicles on the roads, which is good. I think that one of the things is that the double whammy of surging mortgage rates and skyrocketing home prices has led to and is leading to the collapse of housing affordability. There's no question about it. There's going to be housing where it's available, but they don't want to live there because they can't afford it. The basic staples in what we have and what we do and what we need are food, health care, family. I'm concerned about how bad the global famine might come around. And then that's going to have prices in the grocery store even more. We have grocery store prices. And I think you've seen those as well. It's not only just the pricing, it's the packaging. The package that you can buy for $5 when you used to pay only $3, it's smaller, much smaller, which is not a good thing. So it's another thing to look into. Some other things I have on my yellow sheet. The stock market now. You must have a plan and make it where it's professional and you have some people that know investing in stocks and bonds and real estate. But the stocks themselves are a lookout right now for being a financial disaster. That could be really serious because it has a lot of money that a lot of people put in thinking they're going to get rich someday. And up to a year ago, they were still thinking they were going to get more money because it's going so high. But that's over with. You can fool yourself when it takes it's in a bear market now is what it's called. And then when you're in a bear market, then there are going to be some rallies, but those rallies are not going to be anywhere close to what those rallies 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ago occurred. It's not going to happen. And if you think you're different than everybody else by this not happening to you, well, I feel sorry for you because the best place that I can think that you can find would be gold, silver, cash. Many people, in terms of families, must have to plan more, budget more. For instance, if a family is expecting pregnancies, things that you don't always have, insurance. You have to watch out for your tax returns. You don't need to go out and buy a CPA unless you have a very complex tax return. So you do it yourself on TurboTax, cost you $40. That's what I do. I've been doing it now for a long, long time. And of course I was, once upon a time, a CPA. I think that the Federal Reserve Board is in a position where they're unable to not raise interest rates. And the headline that I saw was that another massive one-half interest point cut. And that's not good. Oil, are we too late on oil? Or is it going to be up, 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 up? Probably the Ukraine war would have something to do that. Don't forget your life insurance. There's so many things that you can put your money on. And then guess what? You've been planning all these years for retirement, and now here is retirement with all this happening. Higher prices that you budgeted for this, not at all. Best thing you can do for your retirement now is to postpone it for at least 1 to 3 years and see if this crisis, economic crisis that we have, is going away. Well, I've run out of time. I've enjoyed passing along my knowledge about these things, these assets, and what I would do, and hopefully you'll absorb some of that as well. So I want to thank my listeners. I do really thank my listeners. Thank you very much. And happy trails to all.